Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming early. I hope some more people will join in a bit, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a few people watching on YouTube, a few people watching on Zoom. So I'll start my camera now. Hi everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lorena. I work at the Central Park Library with the Santa Clara City Library System. Y feliz día Cinco de Mayo. Almost. Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. It's the 5th of May. So today we're going to be doing a super fun cooking club. We're going to be making these super cute taco cookies. I tried them earlier and they are delicious. Before we get started, I do want to show you a little bit about Cinco de Mayo and why we celebrate it. It's actually a holiday that's more celebrated in the United States than it is in Mexico. So let's look a little bit into why Cinco de Mayo is a holiday. And I'm just going to show you a short video explaining the holiday, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on our cooking club. So let me stop my video. You can still hear me. I'm going to play the video for you now. I'm going to play a little bit of it. Let me know if you can hear it. So I'm going to test the sound. Were you able to hear that okay? Can you tell me in the chat if you were able to hear, please? Miss Jackie, did you hear it? Oh, we did? Okay, good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play the whole thing, okay? If for some reason you can't hear it, just let me know. I'll play it again.
Cinco de Mayo in English means the 5th of May. That's the day in 1862 when the Mexican army won a surprising victory over the French at the Battle of Puebla. They were outnumbered nearly 2-1. Many people think Cinco de Mayo celebrates Mexican independence, but that's not actually true. Mexico had been independent from Spain since 1810, but was unable to pay its debts to Europe. France saw an opportunity to move in and claim territory. 6,000 French troops set out to attack Puebla, a small town in eastern Mexico. But an underdog force of about 2,000 loyal Mexicans defeated them. Their heroism was a source of great pride for the people of Mexico. Today, Cinco de Mayo is celebrated more in the US than it is in Mexico, especially in areas with large Mexican-American populations, like Los Angeles and Chicago. It is celebrated with Mexican food, mariachi music, dancing, and other special customs. Cinco de Mayo honors the strength and courage of the Mexican people at the Battle of Puebla, and a victory that seemed impossible. Have you ever overcome an obstacle that made you want to celebrate?
Okay, and that is why we celebrate Cinco de Mayo here in the United States. So let me start my video again really quick before we continue on with the presentation. So actually, Cinco de Mayo, I do want to note that it is more of a celebration of our Mexican heritage here in the United States. Like I mentioned, in Mexico, it's not that celebrated. Our Independence Day is on September 15th to the 16th. So that night between the 15th and the 16th of September, that's actually our Independence Day. Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican Independence Day. It's a common myth here in the United States. But now that you know what Cinco de Mayo is about, we're going to celebrate Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. I'm going to teach you how to make this super cute, super delicious taco cookies. So we're going to start. I'm going to give you your supply list. I provided this ahead of time, and I hope you have everything that you need at home. If not, you can stick around, watch the event, and then try it again tomorrow on actual Cinco de Mayo. That's what I'm going to do with my family. I'm making the video today. We're actually going to try it out tomorrow. So let me show you what you need while I go ahead and set up for you guys, okay? So I'm going to turn off my video and make sure you have all these supplies here. You're going to need white Oreos or something similar, sandwich cookies that are white. You need coconut shreds. You're going to need green food coloring, chocolate frosting, mini M&Ms, yellow sprinkles, a cutting board, a butter knife, a bowl, 2 piping bags and thin tips, or 2 resealable sandwich bags. So I know a lot of people don't have the piping bags with the piping tips. If that's okay. If you don't, I'll teach you how to do it without. But go ahead and grab all those supplies while I set up, okay? 1 second. Sorry about that. Miss Jackie pointed out I was showing a weird loop of the YouTube video over and over, but here is the supply list. I'll go over it with you again while we get ready. You're gonna need white Oreos, coconut shreds, green food coloring, chocolate frosting, mini M&Ms, yellow sprinkles, cutting board, a butter knife, a bowl, piping bags, and thin tips, or just regular sandwich bags. So go ahead and grab everything you need, and I'm going to set up the other camera for you guys, so just hang tight. Okay. Ooh, hold on. Okay. Testing. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you let me know you can hear? Okay, perfect. I think I'm all set up now. So let me highlight the screen that's gonna have the cooking stuff. Okay. Now you should be able to see the bigger screen with the camera. There's a little plate there. I'm gonna spotlight that. Okay. Is anybody actually going to try this as we go? Can you let me know in the chat if you have everything you need for this? If not, that's okay. You can try this again tomorrow as well. We're just going to go ahead and get started. Move this. Okay. All right. So we can maybe have a couple people that are following along. It's totally fine. So if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat. I'll answer them as we go. So like I said, you're going to need a bunch of supplies. So if you have everything you need, we can start now. This is going to be the plate where I'm going to be putting my cookies in the end. You have everything? Okay, I'm glad. So we're going to put this to the side for now. This is our cutting board. Make sure you have a cutting board. And the knife that we're going to be using is a butter knife. So it should be safe for your little ones. However, parents, please make sure you're keeping your eye out on your children at all times when doing this super cute activity. Okay, so before we actually get started on the cookies, we need to do some background work. As you can see here, I have my butter knife. I actually have a spoon because if you're going to be using the piping bags, you're going to need something to scoop the frosting into your bag. So go ahead and grab a spoon as well. And you don't have to have this part, but I have 3 different cups where I'm going to separate my supplies. So you don't have to have this. You can also put them down in the cutting board. That's fine. But this is just easier for me to show you what we're going to separate. So number 1, we are going to start by separating our sprinkles. This is the most difficult part. So we're going to do it first. So if you have your sprinkles, let me know. I couldn't find just yellow ones or orange ones. I actually got this fun pack. So what you want to do if you got something similar, you want to pour these out just a little bit like that. And we're actually going to pick out a few, not that many. We're going to pick out a few of the orange and yellow ones. So I'm going to go through. Let me know in the chat which kind of sprinkles you have. And that way I know where we are. You can also use the white ones because what our sprinkles are going to do, they're going to be our cheese for our little cookies. So cheese, depending on which kind you get, comes in different colors. Sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's white. So you can actually pick out the yellow, orange, and white from these specific ones. And while we do that, let me check on my friends on YouTube. Just want to make sure. If you have any questions, if you're watching on YouTube as well, I can answer them for you as we go. Looks like we don't have any questions for now. Okay, so pick out, depending on how many cookies you're going to make, it's going to be how many sprinkles you're going to need. So for the example today, we're actually going to make 2 of them. That way we can learn the process and you can make them on your own. You can make as many as you want. And remember, if you want to use other colors, you don't just have to use the ones I'm using. You can, this is your art. You can do it however you want. So this is just my example for you, but you can change it as you like. And make sure before you start doing any sort of cooking, you wash your hands. I washed my hands right before I began. Make sure you are washing your hands as well. Okay, my friends in the chat, can you tell me when you are finished picking out your sprinkles? I know you can't really see them that well on Zoom, but here they are. There's a few there. Let me know when you're finished with your sprinkles and we can move on to the next step. Pick out your sprinkles. This actually might be easier for you if you just dump them on your cutting board. I think I may have made more difficulty for myself, but this way you can see better how I'm separating it. Okay, I think that's gonna be all the sprinkles I need for now. So I'm gonna put this, whatever I'm not using, I'm gonna put it back. We'll use this another time. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next step, which is very similar, but remember, this is the most difficult part. So you don't have to worry about that for now. I'm gonna put that on the side. Next, you're gonna get another container if you want to, or you can just dump it out again on your cutting board. And we are going to separate M&Ms. So I did ask you to get some mini M&Ms. They're right here. And from this, we're gonna pick out the red ones because what our M&Ms are gonna do, they're gonna be our little tomatoes. So I'm just gonna dump some here. And I'm gonna pick out the red ones. I'm gonna put them, and for these, you don't need that many. these are really small, but in the cookie itself is going to be really tiny. So you're only going to need about 3 per cookie. Depends how many tomatoes you like on your tacos. And if I'm going too fast, feel free to tell me in the chat on Zoom. I'll slow down. So I'm done picking out my red M&Ms for now. Right here. Put the rest back. And next we're going to make our lettuce. And how are we doing? We're doing okay. We're doing okay on YouTube and Zoom. Okay. So unless you tell me in the chat to slow down, I'm just going to keep going. Again, feel free to tell me if I'm going too fast. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to grab my 3rd cup. And for this one, you do need a cup or bowl because you're going to be mixing some food coloring. So you don't want to do that on an open space like your cutting board. You want to get a little cup or bowl for this part. So I'm going to take my cup. And here are my coconut shreds. I asked you for some coconut shreds. We're actually going to need 2 little piles of this. So number 1, we're going to put a tiny, tiny pile here on the side. You don't need a lot. We're going to scoot it, and we're going to use that later. Okay. And then another pile, we're going to put some in the cup. Not a lot. These cookies are so small. You'll see how tiny they are. So you don't really need a lot of everything, which is good because you can actually make a ton of them with not too many supplies. Yeah, that should be good for now. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to make our lettuce for our tacos. This is our regular coconut, and we're going to take some food coloring. I lost my food coloring. Let me see where it went. There it is. You want to take your green food coloring. This one is, for me, it's grass green. You might have a different one. And you just need 1 drop, just 1. That's it, not a lot. You take your food coloring. You're going to drop it in here. Just 1 drop. Like that. And you're going to mix it all in, and it's going to give us these cute little lettuce looking coconut shreds. Mix and mix and mix and mix. Now it looks like lettuce, right? Okay. And once you are done mixing that, you're going to need this knife. Actually, this is my butter knife. You may have a different one. I have a metal one. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it clean with a napkin so that when we cut our cookies, it doesn't stain the color green. Just checking on you guys on Zoom and YouTube. If you don't have coconut shreds for the lettuce, you can actually use, remember how we have this big one? If you have the mixed one, you can use the green ones as well if you don't have the lettuce. Otherwise, you can just leave it without. It'll look really cute with the sprinkles as well. But if you don't have the shreds and you do have sprinkles or anything like that, you can use that. Okay. You're doing okay. All right. And now we have all of our toppings. So remember, we have our cheese shreds, which are little sprinkles. We have our tomatoes, which are M&Ms. And finally, we have our lettuce. So it looks like we're about ready to start on our cookies. so now that you have everything prepared, these are my piping tips. I'm gonna get into this in just a second, but if you don't have piping tips, you can still just cut the corner, very, very tiny corner of your sandwich bag and have the same effect. But these are super cheap. I bought this at Safeway. They're only a couple of dollars and they're worth it if you do a lot of baking. I don't personally have these at home. This is actually my first time using them, but it helps a lot when you're making tiny cookies like this one. Okay, let's start. So first we're gonna take one Oreo, like this, okay? And we're gonna carefully open, you know what? This one's actually cracked. So that's a good example. If you see, I don't know if you can really see it that well on Zoom, but there's a crack in the middle, which means that when we start cutting it, it's actually gonna break the whole thing. So I'm gonna put this one aside. We're not gonna use this one. And you wanna use one that is not cracked. This one looks good. Okay, so now that we have our good Oreo, slowly you're gonna rotate them in different ways. So one this way and one this way, and it's gonna open it for you. And you wanna scrape off all this frosting, but you don't wanna throw it away. We're gonna use it. So that's when your little sandwich bag comes in. Okay, this is my sandwich bag. For now, we're not gonna cut it or anything. We're just gonna open it. And we're gonna take off the frosting from each side of the cookie. You see it's a little bit of green, but that's okay because we're gonna cover that up in just a minute. And scrape that off from both sides. And we're gonna put that in the bag and you're gonna use it later. I'll show you how in just a minute. Okay, now that you have your frosting, we're just gonna put it in the bag like this. You can take it off. And we're just gonna leave this for now. It's on the side. Now we have both of our cookies. Now, parents, this is where you come in very carefully. Now that you have your cookies here, you're going to cut just a little bit, enough so that it's a flat part here, and then your taco cookies will stand on their own once you add the frosting. So we're gonna cut about, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna cut the last fourth right here. Ooh, see, this one cracked, but that works. The way that it cracked, you can actually just save it up here, and that's a fourth. And see, it's like flat. We're gonna put this to the side, and we're gonna do it again. So be very, very careful. You have to do this very slowly. I did it too fast and it cracked the other part of the cookie. See, this one cracked too. That's okay if it cracks. It might happen. So you want to take another one. I think that one was cracked as well. And I can just do this with a different one. There we go. And that one came off clean. We're gonna hold it. Cut the part off. There we go. And that's okay if it comes out imperfect because it's not gonna show. Okay. And now you should have two sides that look somewhat like this. If you cut off a little bit more, that's fine. If it came off a little bit, that's fine, because when you add the frosting, it's gonna stick together and it's gonna stand up like a taco like this. Okay, so next part, we want to add the quote unquote meat to your taco, which is actually gonna be your chocolate frosting. Now this is a part where you need the spoon and you're gonna need another bag. So grab your other sandwich baggie. Put this aside for now. And my frosting is already open because I made a cookie earlier just to make sure that it worked, and it did. So I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm just gonna grab a spoonful of delicious chocolate frosting. This is my favorite type of frosting. I'm gonna put it in the bag like this. It's very sticky, so be careful. Again, out from the outside, you just want to scoop it up and take it off like that. So the next part, this is where it can get a little bit tricky. If you don't have the pipes, what you can do, I'm going to show you very carefully up here. You're going to cut this corner. And you don't want to cut it a lot. You just want to cut it a little bit, because if you cut it a lot of frosting is going to come out. So you just want to cut a tiny, tiny, tiny corner of it. You see? I'm going to cut that tiny corner like that. And if you have regular Ziploc bags, shouldn't be a problem from them. You can just squeeze it out. But since I have the pipes, I'm going to use them. And for the pipes, you just want to push this a little bit. It gets closer to the edge. And then we're going to put this in here. Oop, get it too far. Just shove that in there. There we go. And now I'm just going to go ahead and push it out onto the cookie. Oh, you know what? It's okay. I won't use the piping for this one. I'll show you for the next one. But I'm just going to push it out. And see, this is directly from the bag. If you don't have the pipes, that's fine. You can just push it. And you're going to add your stuffing to your cookie, like so. Just like that. And then you're going to add the other one. Same thing. So now you have your 2 tacos with meat, 2 tortillas with meat. And make sure you have napkins handy. It does get a little bit messy when you start the frosting. Okay. Is everybody doing okay? Make sure everybody's doing fine. We're good on YouTube. Okay. And now that we have this done, you're going to line up the bottom parts that we cut. You see them? And then we're going to fold it in like a taco, like this. Not too much, but now you see, because you cut the bottom, it's able to stand by itself. See that? You can adjust it a little bit. And there it is. And once it's like this, you can kind of clean it up with your knife if you'd like, just so that the top doesn't show. And the fun part starts. Now we're going to add our toppings. So remember the little baggie we used earlier for the frosting from inside the cookie? We're going to use that now, and that's going to be our sour cream. So we're going to, again, with your sandwich baggie, if you're using the sandwich baggie, you want to cut the tiny, 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 tiniest corner, because this one you want it to be a lot finer than the first. So we're going to cut a tiny corner. And this one, when I tried it earlier, looked a lot better with the piping tip. I put that in there. And this is what it looks like with the piping tip. Again, just like I did earlier with the chocolate one, if you don't have a piping tip, you can just push it out from a tiny, tiny cup from the bag. But I do want to show you how to use these just in case you decide to get them, or in case you have them. And we're going to push it out. It's going to come out like sour cream. It's going to be a very fine line. Just push it out. If it doesn't have a lot of frosting, it gets stuck. So it's a little bit more difficult. There we go. Again, if you don't have the piping tip, you can just push it out from the bag itself. There we go. That actually works out a little bit better. Like that. There you go. There's your sour cream. So now doing it a second time around, I think it's a lot better without the tips, which is good. Because not everybody has tips at home. I don't have tips at home. Unless you're a pro with them, I think it's better. Okay. All right. And now you see we have a little taco with sour cream, but is that all we put on our taco? So I grew up in Mexico and I can guarantee you we do not just eat meat and sour cream. You have to have all your toppings. So next we're going to add, it depends how you do it at home. You can do this in whatever order you want, but I'm going to add the lettuce because if you add the sprinkles and the tomatoes, which are M&Ms, and the sprinkles for the cheese, and then you add the lettuce, it's going to cover it all up. So we're going to add our lettuce, and you want to make sure it's in a way that you can still kind of see your sour cream. See, I'm kind of like spreading it out. It's going to be her green coconut shreds. Somebody mentioned earlier they don't have coconut shreds, which is fine. You can still use the green sprinkles for this step. It does look really cute with the coconut shreds. So if you want to try this again tomorrow for Cinco de Mayo, actual Cinco de Mayo, I highly recommend the coconut shreds. Really does look like lettuce. It's really cool. Okay. And now it's looking more like a taco, right? But we're still not done. We're going to take our sprinkles and just a little bit, very carefully. I'm actually going to dump some right here because I'm saving some for my second cookie. We are going to sprinkle this on top. Carefully. And that looks like cheese, right? It's looking really good. Okay, we're almost there. It's looking great. And the last step, remember, our tomatoes are M&Ms. I'm only going to take 3 for now, just because the cookie's so small. And you want to make sure that the M is facing down. That way nobody sees the M, because real tomatoes don't have M's on them. So we're going to turn it over, add our tomatoes, and we are all finished. I'm going to take my plate. And I'm going to put it here. Miss Jackie really likes this cookie. I can see her. And it's so cute. I mean, I really like it too. It's so cute. I love it. So this is our taco cookie. Should look something like this. And we are pretty much done. Maybe we can make a second one really fast. Would you like to try another one? Can you tell me in the chat? Now we have the one done. Think it'll look better if we do a second one. We can do a second one really fast. And parents, if you want to, you can send us pictures of your craft at home. If you found us on Facebook, you can actually comment on the discussion on the Facebook event, or you can send us a message with a picture. We would love to see it. Let's make another one really fast. Miss Jackie, you're gonna try this at home later? Yeah, Miss Jackie's gonna try this at home later too. Okay, we'll do our second one really quickly. We can move along a little bit faster with the second one now that you know how to do it. So remember, we're gonna take this apart carefully. We already have our bags cut and everything, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I'm gonna shave off the frosting. Put it in the bag. Do it again for this one. Oh no, this will break. And if they break, it's okay. You can just take another one apart. I have a spare here, luckily, from earlier. Be very careful. This is probably, aside from picking out the sprinkles, this is the second most difficult part. You just want to make sure that they don't break. And you can get creative with this. You don't have to make just tacos. You could actually make quesadillas, which would kind of look something like this, but you can switch it up with what's inside your quesadilla. You can use different colors of Oreos. You can use different colors of sprinkles. You can do whatever you want. This is just the base to get you started, and then you can change it as you please. I'm going to cut off one. And 2. Perfect. That was a lot easier the second time around. And go in and put in our, oh, I forgot the white one. So if you don't have the white sprinkles, or if you want to try a different one, maybe we'll try a different set of cheese with this one. We can actually use the white, just a regular coconut as cheese too. So we'll see how it looks like for this one. I'm gonna add chocolate frosting. It doesn't have to be perfect the way it lands on your cookie, because in the end, you're just going to smush it together anyway. And the problem that I run into with the bags that I have is that they're double layered at the end, at the corner. So when you cut it, it actually makes two holes. And then it starts coming out from all over the place. So that's why I'm trying to hold it down. There we go. Okay. Chocolate frosting gets really, really messy, but they're really delicious. The first one I made, I ate it in one bite. And they're so good. Okay. Now we're going to close. See, and it doesn't really matter how you put it in the first place. Open it. Perfect. Maybe I can see if I can get this a little bit closer to the cookie. Maybe a little bit better. Okay, hopefully that doesn't fall. All right, and then we're gonna add our sour cream. Remember, we have this little piping bag that we made. The sour cream might be easier because the frosting in your Oreos is thicker, so you can play around with it. You could probably even do it with your hands, so I didn't try that part, but you could try it at home if you like. It came up perfect. This is sour cream. We're gonna add our lettuce. One more time, I have my lettuce here. A little bit of lettuce. And this time, I'm gonna add a different kind of cheese, which is gonna be just regular coconut shreds without any food coloring on them. That kind of actually looks like onion. If you've ever had tacos, Mexican style tacos, we always put cilantro and onions. Kind of looks like this. And I'm still gonna add my sprinkles because I like it. We're gonna add some sprinkles on top. Maybe I can even jump them. There we go. Oh, it all fell off. It's okay, we'll pick them back up. We'll just so that it doesn't fall. Finally, we'll add our tomatoes. And we are all finished again. Okay. And we're asking kind of tomatoes. So maybe we can even put more tomatoes. Switch it up a little bit. Put one here. I'm gonna put one here. One right here. And you can't really fit that many, unfortunately, because they look small, but your cookie is very tiny. So we'll just do 4. And we're gonna put it next to our other one. And here are, oh, they fell again. Both of our taco cookies. Let me hold them up. There we go. Here are both of our taco cookies. All finished. I have to hold it up, so I'll just hold it here for you. And we are all done. Here are both of our cookies. They're so cute. They really do look like tacos. And they are super, super yummy. So you can try them at home. When you are finished, you can make a whole plate of them for your whole family. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Enjoy making cookies. Parents, again, if you want to send us some pictures of your children's creations, we would love to see them. You can send them over on Facebook, or you can send them over on the messenger, or you can email it to us as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Feliz Cinco de Mayo, everyone. Bye.